We have a lot of opportunities in the U.S. that you don't get anywhere else. First of all, just in firearms, in most other countries you can't have this. So when we have an opportunity I want to make a firearm, but I want to do it my way, you can start a business here, go out and earn it and prove it, and do things your own way and not have to follow corporate structure. You know, there's risk involved, but without risk, there's no reward. So that's really the American dream, is take risks, take chances, believe in yourself, make it happen. My dad talked a lot about making a legacy, and that's what he was creating here, was something that he could leave on to the family, but making his mark on the industry that he loved, you know. A lot of the people that were really close to him told him he was never gonna do it, he was wasting his time, why would anybody buy something from an Italian guy in Arizona? And he just thought, you know, the typical things, people putting you down. He just wanted to prove people wrong that not only can he do it, but he was gonna do it whether he liked it or not. He wasn't gonna take no for an answer. He was gonna do it his way or the highway, and that's just the way it was. He always said, if you get a dream, chase it, because nobody's gonna give it to you. That's the American dream. Earn what you got and make your name out there. Everybody can have a chance as long as they're willing to grasp it, but it ain't gonna be given to you. You gotta earn it.
Hi, welcome to Patriotic Ordnance Factory. We compromise on nothing. We only put the best materials, the best processes. It's irrelevant if it's hot, if it's cold, if it's sandy and dusty and muddy. We don't emulate, we don't imitate, we innovate.
Prior to POF, Frank was working as a design engineer in production control for Allied Tool and Die. He taught himself how to be a CNC programmer. He had the drive and determination to do whatever problem was in front of him. He wanted to fix it, and he wanted to be the one.
What my dad did in aerospace, and far as, you know, being an engineer in the aerospace industry, where he really excelled was in process engineering. So, hey, we need to make this part, and needs to hold these tolerances, needs to have this certain heat treat. With firearms, we've got a lot of liability. Aerospace has a lot of liability, so everything has to be 100% to the customer's order. So that was really where he excelled, was the roadmap of running it through the processes and making sure the part that was ordered was you know, to print when it got delivered.
I don't remember the exact moment that he came to me to ask me to start this business, but he had told me that he had met some friends or some people at a gun show in downtown Phoenix, and somebody needed help developing a part. And he said, I think I can do it. And so he went back the next time and showed him, here, I made this part. And another gentleman was there and said, you made that? And he said, yeah, I made that. I work at a machine shop. And he said, why don't you go into business for yourself? And Frank said, I don't have the money for that. And he said, I do. And I believe in you. If you can make this, we can make something of it. And so that's kind of where it started. And he came home and told me about the conversation and then said, what do you think? Should we try it? And, you know, he always said, if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to? And so I said, yeah, I think we should try it.
More symbols of freedom are within our factory, so all our employees know that we stand with America, and we'll always stand with America. It's on a north or south side of our building is the American flag. Because that's a symbol of freedom that's inclusive with liberty and justice for all. The most wonderful symbol in the world that has to do with freedom. So we proudly display that in our factory as we work day to day. Because we're building every day symbols of freedom out here.
On Thursday, June 18th, 2020, Frank passed away. He left work at 5:58. He was in an open air Jeep, didn't have a top, and he was driving home. It's about 7 miles from the office. And he got to the door. Brandon and Frank closed every day. And he gives Brandon a wave. And on his way home, he turned on the Carefree Highway, and a car was making a U-turn onto the highway, and I think he thought they would stop when they saw him, and they didn't. And he overcorrected the Jeep, and he rolled the vehicle 3 times. And he passed away immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you my dad's office. We've actually left it pretty much exactly the way it was since the accident, and nobody really comes in here. We kind of want to leave it the way it was. Keep his memory alive, you know. So nobody's ever gonna fill this office anyways, no matter how good they are. So, you know, keeping the space exactly the way it's set. I mean, things that were important to him. My papa, the books he liked to read, his hats, he loved cars. Obviously, look around the room, patriotic, you know, Ronald Reagan pictures and some of the art that he had made over the years. We want to keep it exactly the way it is. It's kind of, you know, selfishly a museum piece, but for the family, it's just, this is his office. Nobody else is going to sit in here. So on top of keeping his office the way it is, we keep my dad's cell phone. It's still active. I keep it on me every day. It's a reminder of him, you know, as a kid, even just up until the accident, Thanksgivings, New Year's, Christmas, it didn't matter. He was texting every contact he had, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. On it, you know, at the time you get upset, you're like, hey man, pay attention to the family. But you look at it now, he still gets text message, miss you buddy, Merry Christmas. It's, you know, you get emotional about it. But
Why do you think people still text your dad back?
because I think he meant a lot to people. I mean, he was a good man. People respected him, and he was caring. He was giving, you know. And so I think that kind of thing. I mean, people seen it. People cared, you know. It's humbling for me, you know. Obviously, I loved him. He was my dad, but to see how other people cared.
Well, we're here in Arizona at the Ben Avery shooting range, the largest shooting range, I believe, in the United States. And most particularly, we're on Frank's shooting range. This range was dedicated to him after his unfortunate death, an untimely death. And this was something that he was actually working on long before that. And it came to fruition, unfortunately, very quick as a result of his death. So I was up here working as a contractor teaching shooting. And I heard about this guy that had developed this rifle where he had converted AR-15s to piston-driven guns, which sounded pretty interesting because of the reliability factor, a la the AK-47. So I called him up while I was here in Arizona. I bought one of his guns. We shot it. He was 100% operational, but it was also very apparent that he was not a shooter. So there was some modifications that we need to do to the gun to make it more user-friendly. But that rifle, I shot about 33,000 rounds through with my business partner, also a friend of Sue LaRue, Don Alexander. And he had another gun that he also put approximately 30-something thousand rounds through. Now the barrels were shot out, but the mechanisms were still running. So we knew Frank was onto it. So I think what they brought out for us today is their revolution in 6.5 Creedmoor. And immediately when you look at the extrusions and the cut and how they machine their materials and all the small things really make a big difference. All the stuff, the type of railings that he uses, the connection points that he uses, the stock that he uses, the grips, the trigger that he created. There's so much thought that goes into this rifle to get what you're looking at today. And this is years from 2005 to right now today. All of his ideas, you're looking at him sitting here in this rifle. My recommendation is if you want to buy one, get that gun. It's just shot at 200 meters. It's like just stacking them on top of ammo. Very accurate.
So we're here at the POF factory floor. We're going to kind of walk through every step of the process as far as we're going to start with assembly first, and then we can run through the machine shop. So all the receivers, once they get the forward assist and the trap door on, Ian's installing the barrel. He's got the barrel nut. We torque them to 45 foot-pounds of torque. We have the special arbors that we made, and that way we're making sure we're not getting any tension on the receiver itself, because it is, at the end of the day, that upper receiver's a thin-walled aluminum. If you just tried to put it in a vise without something holding that barrel extension, you're going to crack the receiver. So we want to make sure that it's properly torqued, but without damaging the upper. Right now we're actually running extractors. What the extractor does is when the bolt is locked up into battery, you pull the trigger, right? It fires. When it goes to extract the round, the extractor's holding onto the rim of the shell casing, and that's what's going to pull it out of chamber, and then the ejector will kick it out of the firearm. So this machine makes all of our bolts and extractors. It's a Ganesh Gin-Turn. It's a 9-axis milling machine, which means we have the bar feeder. It's going to load the bar stock. It shoots it. It'll push bar into the set length that it needs to be, and then it's got the tooling that can cut from 9 different axes, so we can do it complete instead of doing multiple steps where we used to do it. We would make a blank and then put it on another machine to finish it, and then it would go back to a lathe to get turned. Now we've taken 3 steps, put it down to 1 step on this machine. So we're going to start out with a billet block of aluminum, and this is what Op 1 is going to look like once it comes off. Basically, once you start the manufacturing process, it must be serialized. So our job is to get the serial number on there and get it in our logbooks as fast as possible. You don't want these sitting out without serial numbers, because that's a no-no. You cannot do that. They want a serial number on it as soon as the manufacturing process starts. Yeah, and innovations, we use that word a lot at POF, and it's really, It's so easy to just pick up calipers and reverse engineer what somebody else did, but to step up and do your own design, put all the risk on your shoulders and see it come to life, something that was in your head, hit paper, go into SolidWorks, program, machine. I mean, it's so much more gratifying to know that you designed this out of your own head. You didn't copy somebody else. Obviously, there's an artistic side. Everybody's got their own style and the different firearms that they make, but seeing something that we put together and watch it function, yeah, it's a big point of pride. I mean, everybody needs to decompress, and so for me, it is the outdoors. I mean, like I said, when I was little, going fishing with my grandpa Neil, that was my favorite thing. And now I don't get cell phone service when we go fishing, so I don't have to hear emails banging, no text, phone calls. You know, it's peaceful, man. For me, that's why I love being in the outdoors, relaxing with friends and family, just taking a step back and enjoying life.
We got the chairs in the back.
All right. Work is a big responsibility. It doesn't matter what job you have or what your title is. Without what you're doing, and like I said, doesn't matter the title, position. If you don't do your job, somebody else can't do theirs. So for me, every day, yeah, that's all stressful. Any chance to get to just step back and kind of forget about it for an hour or two, it's you got to do it. You got to recharge a little bit.
Cody comes out here to get away from the day-to-day business. He's got a tremendous amount of pressure on him. God rest his soul, Frank passed. Cody took control of the shop. He puts a lot on his shoulders. Coming out here gives him a chance to just unwind for the day. We do this. This is close to home. There's another place that we go just down the road that we do a lot of dove hunting. So when September comes, we're slaying doves. Just have a good time.
We don't want to follow people. We don't want to be imitators. Okay, Patriot Ordnance Factory wasn't built on following. We were built on leading, building the first of many firsts. I mean, that's a tagline that we use a lot. I see a lot of companies out there that regurgitate the same Me Too products, and it drives me nuts because you might make a sale, but you're not going to grow, and you damn sure aren't earning people's respect, and that's just not our game. That's not what we do. We want to be different. We want people to respect us as engineers and builders and machinists. The only way to do that is be different and take risks. For Patriot Ordnance Factory, we have quite a few patents. And when you look at the 415, we were the first commercially available piston gun out there, especially one that cleans out the front, that doesn't use springs. On their piston return system. We were the first true small frame 308 out there. That nobody even has a 308 that's as light as ours. Those are the kind of things that we take pride in, is taking chances where other people won't. And that's like I said, for us, it's trying to be leaders, not followers. My dad's American dream, and his version of living out his American dream was taking advantage of every opportunity you're given, not taking no for an answer, putting in the hard work, and know that you've earned it. And there's no other place in the world that you can come up with an idea with a little bit of grunt work and work ethic. You can turn yourself out into a good situation, because nothing's given to you.
At the end of the day, you're not just buying a product, a widget, you're also buying a lifestyle too. Why? Because that will always stand for America, will always stand for our flag. And how do you show it? Well, you show it by actually doing it. Everything we build is symbols of freedom. That's what we do.